up, everyone, and welcome to Skeptic and Ranting. God is a father. Dun, dun, dun. That's right. Where?
Our Father who art in heaven.
Our Father, our Sky Daddy, for he is sexy or something. Yes, where we are ranting about religious people being obsessed with gender, not being real, and yet desperately needing their father figure in the sky to be the manly King of Kings dude. So won't you join myself, Amy Newman, and James W. for a fatherly good time? What is up, everyone?
Jordan Peterson of deities. He's really like embraces the bravado, and
you gotta be a shrimp. You gotta fight and clean your room. And Jordan Peterson is such a weird person.
Yes, he
is the modern day Deepak Chopra with a hint of Joe Rogan, and I don't know. It is interesting to watch him on Jubilee. It was fun watching Danny on there. That still was crazy to me. Send love to Danny. And I also my favorite one. There's been a recent one. I'm trying to remember. One guy versus basically 20 far right people. But we are ranting about God being a father. I will say, it has been a while. It's great to be back. Oh, my goddess.
He's a father in the sense of, like, Darth Vader being a father, I guess, maybe.
Yes. Luke, I am your Yahweh.
I mean, when he killed all the kids because the Emperor told him to, and he did it anyway.
I find it weird. And so, to get, okay. I should have my supplies in front of me. But please, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Still those?
Get them in, put them deep down, ball gags. Then you get the
leather paddles.
Leather paddles.
Got a few of those laying around, I'm sure.
Listen, framed. It allows you to set that bell icon to all, which gives you free money. It doesn't? Oh. Huh. All right. It just allows you to come and see our content and be a part of the community. Sending love to the Skeptic and Ranting community.
We missed you guys.
Oh, my goodness. So, continuing, we are sending all of the love out there. Many ways to support the show. Send love to super chats. Send love to channel members. Sending love. I'll do shout outs. I will get to it in the middle. Well, I gotta. Oh my goodness. I literally I came hot off that class, and I don't even have my supplies. Hold on. Voodoo.
It looks like you just came off an adult video shoot where you were the librarian.
Yes, kind of. Probably.
Somebody's been loud in the library, and if they can't be quiet, they'll have to come in your office and study.
We might have to take extra measures to make sure that you're quiet. Probably.
Like a soundproof office. Yeah, soundproof.
Yes. I like those little the grooves. I gotta get those. Yeah. Oh, my little buttercup's there. I didn't even notice her. How long have you been there? Yes, now I have it up in front of me. Whoa. I am sending love to all the people. Well, our evolving badge system, I'm going to be talking more evolution videos. James going to be talking more evolution because that's kind of what the creationist thing is. It triggers them almost as much. That used to be their thing. Somehow genders become their thing.
Maybe they're kind of losing. Maybe they're kind of conceding ground on the evolution a little bit. Like, the fields are not as fertile as they used to be. They're kind of moving on.
It is very hard. I also will say, if you want to be the biology people, you kind of have to accept, I feel like at minimum, and this may be like a long shot, James, biology, you would feel like that would be a given. Like, you can't be like saying that we were poofed here and there were talking snakes and then, you know, also be like, we're pro biology. I don't know. And I'll continue to say, we're doing this episode because, quite frankly,
can't get away from it.
I can't get away from it. And it's a common trend. I don't know if it's like, I'm trying to think what the exact word is, like a, what's a prophecy that you were kind of they like made it up, and then it's like, I for sale that things are going to go on sale on Black Friday. Like, okay. I forget. And nonetheless, it'll come to me eventually. Wish fulfillment.
Not a prediction, it's like a post-diction because
they make it happen. And I mean, not to be conspiratorial, but like, I feel like the people, the political leaders, the religious leaders know what they're doing. That's just my heart feeling. Nonetheless, it seems like a very emotional issue. They know it can rile up people. It can be translated into simple. I get asked, what's a woman? Like, all I need to do is go into a religious chat. And I told James, I sit there and I argue. Just and without a doubt, you're not a woman. What's a woman? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, isn't God like higher level? Like, I get it. What's going on between my legs, James? That's important stuff. Probably, sure, whatever. But like, there's like a dude. They would say he's not a dude. Whatever. I'm characterizing him wrong. But there's a dude that's watching us 24/7, 365, all throughout time. Before I've been born, you and I have been born. After you and I and I, and like that, however, is again not as an important subject as right down
girl
here,
deck.
Right in the girl deck.
Yeah.
And like the other thing here's the other insane thing, okay, that I get told. I'm obsessed with it. It's me, James. Okay, it's because I bring it up, and I'll tell you,
you're trying to force your delusion on.
I am.
That's what
I'm
they love
trying.
To say.
All I want to do is push transgenderism into every subject. People ask me what you want for dinner, and I like multiple genders. Can you tell? It doesn't. I don't take it personally at all.
Well, it's like, I mean, it's like they try to like troll you with it, and usually, you know, you just let it bounce off like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, why do you believe? Why should we believe in your God? Why is it real?
Not only that, I would even say a step further. My barometer when arguing religion has been the quicker that they go to talking about to gender, the faster I feel like they're cornered. Because why would you bring it up? Like, if the title at the top of the video says, you know, what's a woman, or why are just sex versus gender, or insert whatever you want, then cool, you are on topic. But if it's
the Dawa stream,
if it's exactly, if it is like, why do prophets exist, or defend insert prophet, you know what they're talking about, James. It's the hottest thing on the market. And I feel like, again,
got that Koran.
I want to talk about surahs. I want to talk about the ant. I think that is one of the funniest things. Honestly, again, it's easy to take pot shots at the minority religions, the Jews and the Muslims, okay? Because there are so many people that actively go and are either anti-Semitic or I dislike the word Islamophobic, but prejudice towards Islamic people.
Hate Islamic people.
Yes. Nonetheless, I mean, in the debate term of ideas, I mean, it's fair game, right? We're just criticizing ideas. I'm not telling the easy ones is to adham Muhammad. I'm really just going for he's not a prophet because prophets don't exist. And nonetheless, I could go on and on and on, but there will come a point where they say, why am I talking to you? Why should I even... and often they will say, I don't even talk with... I don't talk with anyone about religion who is right here, a transgender. It's the eliminating factor from the discussion. Because they know my politics already. My politics are transgender, which is another word for communist. I think, right? I have to have those political views.
These people are always looking for ways to weasel out of a debate or discussion. You know, like Mr. Batman. Remember, he asked I'm not gonna have a discussion that you can tell me why it's immoral under your worldview for X, Y, and Z. Well, we're not here debating morality. We're here debating religion. Yeah, but I'm not going to discuss that with someone who don't believe in objective morality, sir.
Oh, I know. The obsession with that objective morality. Again, they want to make it where it is really about who we are as humans. And to make it even more generalized, and I know I'm crazy in this stream about gender, but it's the low-hanging fruit. Whatever the low-hanging fruit is, that's what they are going to talk about, because Kalam doesn't include a god. It's kind of hard to defend a god. It's kind of easier to go after being transgender, or another word they hate. Dare I trigger everyone out there? Racist or other things. It's the good slavery, James. You have no idea. It was a works program.
It was a religion program. You know, they got converted to Christianity. So I mean, exactly. It sucks being forcibly kidnapped, taken away from your home, put on a boat under hellish conditions, and shipped thousands of miles away and forced to work at gunpoint. But at least they didn't have to die and go to hell because they could be converted to Christianity. So
they found the good news.
You know, a shitty rest of your life, but they'll be happy forever. So it all works out.
Also, generations of poverty later. This is where we get all those. Like, that's another thing not to get. I mean, it's political, but it's meta, because I meet people halfway. I understand. You know, the racists that, you know, they say 1350, they all do all those things. Right. Why is it? And you ask yourselves, well, why is that? And what I would like them to admit, they never admit it. All they do is they want to say the slogan, and then they just want to go, I'm just leaving it up there, just leaving it out there. And it's like, well, say it. I want you to tell me that black skin causes people to shoot people. I want you to be honest and not a coward. Because a real discussion is why. Why? Because they're poor. It's almost like we forced a bunch of people onto boats, as James was just saying, and then for generations, they were poor. And then we say, because it's not rich people don't steal TVs. They don't need to. They do white-collar crime and then pay lawyers, and then they get off. Anyway, this is the stuff that's been on my mind. But it's just, I just want people to have honest conversations. I don't feel like I can have honest conversations right now.
It's hard. These are hard problems. These are hard issues. And
let's bring up...
No easy solutions.
Okay. So, well... No. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna save it. I was gonna bring up the.
Really, Davegar? Is that I hope not. I
Oh,
hope
let's
Davegar's
send love. What's up,
messing around with
Davegar?
us. I hope Davegar's just messing with us.
He is kinda.
Yeah.
I will say. Trump has been criticizing the Smithsonian. He's been saying that they focus too much on the bad aspects of slavery. And so he is saying that the Smithsonian should
I guess equal time, equal coverage.
Again, I don't this is the weird time, James. Some of these things I don't think should be even political. We're in such a weird time. And what's up, Spooky? What's up, God equals square root of 1? What's up, Loki? Sending love, Dave. Everybody out there. Keep on saying hi. I'll say hi. But we don't have a video tonight. I'm going to do the shout-outs, and then I'll hand it over to James
Just gonna
for
rant.
1 second, and then we're
rant.
just going to come back and rant more. And it's weird. This is an episode about gender. Technically, father. God is a father, a daddy.
Abba. He's your Abba.
The Muslims will tell me this is their apologetic for it. Is they'll say, well, listen, Arabic just says he, just selects he randomly. And I go, okay, but it doesn't actually make him a he, or it could have been she or that. And they always concede / not concede at the same time. They're like, of course it can, but it can't. And you're like, oh.
I think some Christians have they concede that God has a gender, but not necessarily a sex. Like even of all people, Ken Hovind, he said, does God really have a sex? I don't think so.
But here's the thing. This is why I'm tying it. This is how I'm tying it. Yeah. Is that sure? Sex and gender are not the same. And people are like, but it wasn't in the 1940s and 1950s. And you're like, yeah, a lot of science has actually changed since the 19th, so especially medical and psychology, sociology, right, trying to help the mental benefit of humans.
Right.
But
it's not that autism is brand new, okay? It's just that it's been medically described. So
yes,
it's not like, there were no autistic people in the 18th. No, they were around. They were just considered quirky, weird, marginalized. They were just considered strange people.
100%. It is not that vaccines cause autism. They do not. It is not that there has been a rise in autism. What there has been a rise is there has been a rise in the diagnosis of autism.
We're recognizing it, figuring out what it is, how to define it, and how we can help these people live normal, better lives to be themselves.
Because there is an issue. They have a social disorder going on. However, that is something that can be worked on. There are many ways that they go about better communicating in the world. They find tools, and they are oftentimes brilliant people, artists, scientists. They just think a little bit differently than other people.
They process things differently. Yeah,
exactly. They don't need to be cured.
In some ways, it's actually more efficient. Their brain works, and that's why they're susceptible to sensory overload, because their brains are actually doing a better job assimilating data. It's a rush of data that becomes overwhelming.
It's just helping them, with trying to focus that data stream, and then they're able to be amazing, wonderful, committed citizens. I don't know. What I wish is that we would stop also. This is another. I was going to say things about we should stop using mental illness. I'll say this is my last thing, and then we'll talk about what I think is another flash. But mental illness. I feel this word gets thrown around. Number one, being transgender, is not a mental illness.
We'll say, oh, no, it's a gender dysphoria. That's the mental illness.
But mental illness is something very specific. Mental illness means that you are struggling to function. It means that your day-to-day life is getting harder and harder, and it is deteriorating. And I say it that way because I'm talking just vaguely with James before this. You know, a mental illness can be as simple as something as depression. You could be so depressed that it could become hard to function in your everyday life. And that is not the fault of the depressed person, and we shouldn't go, I hate to say it, James, but this really is how they say it. I mean, almost like a Simpsons, like, ha ha, mental illness. That is how they say it. They just go take care of it. As if it's like, oh, why didn't everyone with a mental illness think of that? And that's because they categorize it as being transgender. Now, to tie it together, being transgender, especially before you understand what's going on, especially when you're first coming out and transitioning,
trying to process it,
can be a mental disorder. That is to say, your day-to-day function can become so hard or an increasing struggle. What I would argue is that you do not solve that by stop being transgender. I don't think you can, if you truly are transgender, I don't think you can stop being transgender. But the solution is not, because that is just like how they hint with the 1350 thing, the skin color. They say go get help. Go get help is keyword for be a man. Or if you are an FTM, for be a woman. That really is what they mean. They mean go see someone so you can stop feeling feminine or feeling masculine. They don't mean go get help so that we can live in this postmodern world, James, where, yes, technically, you know, I am the male sex, but we're going to live in a world where we accept different ways. It's okay, James. If we lived in that world, you know the stereotypical, they put like the woman with the beard? That would be their icon, because they would say, look at how they defy the gender norms and all this. But it never matches up. If I were to put a TERF, the trans exclusive radical feminist, and I were to take a fundamentalist Christian and I watch them in these like gender debates where they're like this on this one specific issue,
they want to kill each other on everybody else.
Yes. But what they really want to say is, on this side, she's saying, I'm a girl boss, don't you freaking stop me, and your transgender is actually stereotypical. And this other person over here is saying, I want that woman in the kitchen.
She should be making a sandwich for me right now.
Yes. And like in that debate, they're not going to say that. But they're two completely different sides of the spectrum.
The only thing they agree on.
It's like the anti-vaxxers. It used to be the anti-vax was just far left. Now, it's like the one side where the far left and the far right. They just don't like vaccines, but they're pro-biology. We live in great times, James. I'm glad we live in this timeline. Mm-hmm.
Well, and again, it's not like this is new. There have always been people who were gender nonconformists. Why does the Bible prohibit men from wearing women's clothes? Well, if that was never an issue,
going on. Oh yeah,
right. If that was never an issue, why would they care so much to explicitly limit that is
100%? Well, can I also just point out? This is the final fight. I keep on saying final. Like, Jerry Springer has been in cycle and showing reruns for over a decade or two now.
We've been dead for several years now,
and he himself has been dead for several years. Yeah. We're part of the cultural zeitgeist. We're not new anymore. I accepted that, and I know I'm getting older now. This is the other point I wanted to. What are the other points? I've almost been transgender. My my transition is legal, and it's getting very close to being able to drink. Like, I've been doing this for quite a while, and
Almost
so
21 years. Yeah.
could you imagine, James, if you've been playing a video game or reading a book for 21 years, and someone just looked at you after like the movie came out, and they're just like, you're just obsessed with it because that's the end thing. That's what it feels like to me. It's like, really? I guess it's a phase, James. It's a 2-decade phase.
Right.
I feel like at a certain point, it's just who you... Okay.
And the thing is, because it's more visible now, people are more open about it. And so they're just recognizing it now. But this is not new. This is not anything that's, wasn't going on before.
We could bring up Native American cultures, two-spirit, two-gendered. We could bring up... There have been... And like you said, another great example. There's only one reason to... It'd be like saying banning alcohol. That's because people were drinking.
Right. You wouldn't have to ban cross-dressing if people weren't cross-dressing. It
pisses God off that much.
The Bible hits that very early, right in the thing with people being gay.
Which, again...
being an annoyance to God.
If they were being specific... The getting help is me to stop dressing. It's me not just to be not transgender. It's that I have to be happy. I must buy these specific clothes. You need to be happy. It's such a stupid human thing, too. Isn't it stupidly human? That's the other thing. Not to get too meta about it, but if a God cares if you're gay or what aisle that you shop in Kohl's, what a petty, mean girls type of God. You know what I mean? A little bit?
I mean, look, and they would say, like, listen, we're not going to put cameras in everybody. We don't care what you do at home, but we don't want to see it. They basically want to say, yeah, get back in the closet. We don't care what you do at home. Don't go out in public like it. Don't force us to have to look at it.
The other thing is they say don't force it on kids. Which there is a deep irony, okay? Because you cannot teach kids how to be gay or transgender. It's not how it works. You could teach kids how to accept themselves. You could teach kids to accept, say, hey, if you're a little bit weird or a little bit different, that's okay. That's who you are. You cannot convince people. And I ask this of straight people. The easiest thing, because this is the question I have. If you are just 100%, and, who cares about putting the Kinsey scale aside and all that shit. If you're 100% straight, you're a zero. Can there be a strong enough PowerPoint?
You're a -5.
Yeah, I know. There's
negative 10 on the Kinsey scale.
Like, is there a strong enough PowerPoint presentation that can make you gay? Isn't that the argument they're putting forward? You can be convinced.
How many dick pics would you have to look at to become attracted?
Oh my goodness! With each one, it gets bigger and bigger.
I mean, at first I wasn't, but now after like 500, I want to suck it. Like that's not how
that was. That was Mr. Batman's excuse. I will continue to say.
I'll suck them all.
I sponsor this episode still by religion, because as much as we're going to talk about gender, it is only because, and I've been caught kicking, dragging, screaming into it because I was told for years that's all I care about. I am almost. I used to think about it too much. You kind of eventually, you chill out.
Oh, thank you.
And
Bree's
sending so much love to Bree. Oh my God. I am sending, you should all go to Bree's channel.
You converted her.
Thank you so much, Bree. I'm sending so much love.
But just like you can confuse a child, but in terms of children, they often have all sorts of questions about things, and it takes a while to sort themselves out, but you can't make them something that they're not. But you know what you could do? You know what you could do with a child that's like 3 or 4 years old, barely able to understand language? Take them like, yes, Bobby, we're so glad that you're here. Now you can understand English. Now we have to tell you something very, very important. Okay, very, very important. There's this God who created us all, and we have this list of things here that we can't prove them to you, but you must believe them. We promise you they're true, and you can believe them. He loves you. But if you can't believe these, then after you die, God will do mean things to you forever. You won't be allowed to die. He will just keep hurting you forever if you can't force yourself to believe one of these set of things. And but don't worry, just believe it. And we can't provide evidence, but believe it anyway. And if you can't, then try to force yourself to make it. But if you still can't do that, oh well, you'll burn forever. That's it. And they think that is that's how you instill values into a child. I mean, that's how you instill morality and values.
And that is the flip side, is that they tell us, don't push your views on children. And when I bring up exactly what you just said, you are pushing your ideology on impressionable children before they can tell fact from fiction. And without fail, each and every time, they tell me the same thing. It's not pushing ideology, James. It's telling the truth.
Right. And, they make sure they hit that, because they tell many of these same children that, on Christmas Eve, an overweight guy slides down the chimney and leaves present. And they believe it. They believe it because they're young. They don't know anything. And their parents tell them it's true. So it kind of makes sense to them. They're programmed and trained to learn from their parents. And if their parents tell them things that are true, their parents know more about the world than they do. So if they say that this is how it happens, a guy slides down the chimney, leaves presents, they wake up and see presents, they're there.
And to a certain age, I mean, there's an evolutionary, we're not as strong as ducks. Ducks imprint on the first thing they see. But as a child, to a certain age, we accept everything that they say as fact. In fact, I would argue the adolescent years, they're so conflicted because they are starting to have,
contradictory,
their world or whatever the world of the outside is, start to come in conflict with whatever they were taught. And so, I argued you should teach your religion or push your religion, at an older age when they are not so impressionable, and really win them over instead of possibly just push critical thinking and skepticism.
But that's why, Judaism, that they do the circumcision when they're infants. Christians baptize them as babies, most of them, because they want to get them into the fold before they even know what the fuck is going on.
Get them before they can say no.
And see, that's the thing is, then when kids are like 6, 7 years old, they start to make logic, like this whole Santa Claus thing. They say it's true, but it's just not adding up. And the parents might want to keep the magic going on a little longer, but they all realize at some point you have to stop reinforcing those. You can't just keep on coming up with more and more elaborate explanations for how Santa does it. You have to let them accept reality for what it is. Yes. It's just that with religion, they continue to reinforce it. They don't stop. They just continue to make up more and more elaborate excuses and doctrines and rationale for it.
And I put a warning, okay? I celebrate any holiday that has food. None of the holidays that aren't fun. I'm not exactly. I'm not going up, waiting or, before the line at Santa Claus and going up to children and being like, he's not real. That's not the shtick. It should be at the appropriate time.
Minimum wage.
I know he needs better. Santa needs better health care. No, that's not what we're trying to say. It should be the parents' job to, at the appropriate time, allow them to understand. Normally, culturally, they find out on their own.
7, 6, 8, whenever the questions start to arise, and then they eventually figure it out, and
Exactly. I mean, it's cultural, and it's part of going from a child. I wouldn't say an adult, but it's part of growing up. Exactly.
Moving into adolescence.
Exactly.
And that's what you say. Like the teenage rebellion stage is we're often as children given an overly idealized, overly romanticized version of life, and we start to see that the ideal
thinking,
the romanticized version isn't really always true, and that there's a lot of nuance. But we don't want to make kids right off the bat cynical and pessimistic about life. We want to make it like everything is right.
Listen, it's cute.
I can be anything I want to be.
Santa Claus is whatever, and then have that, or whatever, whatever fable or whatever tradition. Not trying to take traditions or holidays away.
Right.
What I am trying to say is that truly the irony, I cannot. No one can. There is no software program powerful enough to turn you gay or straight.
Oh,
and thus,
I give you some hardware program that'll turn you gay.
They really do say they're straight.
It'll make your software hardware. I can make your software hardware.
Oh, Mr. Batman, you making me blush.
I used to say I can be whatever. I can be a gay porn star when I grow up. I can suck 50 dicks a day. I can do that in an hour, sir.
But he found Jesus. He found the other boyfriend, the daddy.
So now he goes around and harasses gay couples and criticizes them and condemns them and tells them how evil they are.
In essence. All right, I'm going to give out shout-outs. We're going to quickly do them. But sending love out to all the people in our chat. Send love to Chris Disciple, reminding us.
Thanks,
Theus in our Skeptic Ranting community. Azo reminding us we have a Skeptic Ranting community. Come one, come all. Dale Pastel reminding us we're looking for empirical evidence. Davegar, sending love. The Earth is round and 4.5 billion years old. And Rachel Holen reminding us that we have to probably get our relationships from, consensual means and not from the nations around us. Yes, rantofemboy.com. Sending love to Rejos. Right, we actually, that was one of our last episodes, had a Skeptic Bible study. Go check that out. Sending love, read from cover to cover. And then Ian Davenport sending so much love. We are reminding you that apologetic arguments are kind of crap. If they had empirical evidence, they would submit that. But instead, we get the contingency argument.
The scientific term is bullshit?
I think so. I'll probably be updating these.
Good to see you out there, Ray.
I truly do have to update them. And I have multiple ways. I've been telling James this. I say this every episode. I have ways I think of being more active. I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully soon.
Reality comes and bites you in the ass.
I told Jay, I think the example was I feel like a dog trying to catch the mailman. And it's just, one day, James.
You'll get him one day.
Get him one day. Yes. Hey, speaking of that, sending love to Knock, to Rage, who has been doing content again. Great to see him out there.
Is it atheist again? Good to see him.
And I hate to tie him to him.
The smokester, Mr. Herbel is back.
He's doing stuff again.
He's back.
Right?
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Playgrounds beware. What?
It's not him though. He's still
James. That's a low bow. That's below the.
He's still claiming it's not him. It's not him.
It's not him. It would never be him, Your Honor.
You know, he
Allegedly.
disappeared for 2 years. You know.
No, that's just Khalifi. I forget what his new name was.
Khalil.
Khalil. There we go.
Yeah, he disappeared for 12 years.
Sending love to whoever Khalil's new boyfriend is in jail.
I'm sure he's got himself with the Islamic community in prison. He can, you know, they can do the surahs all day and read the Quran.
And you just tell him you're framed by the system.
Right. He converted Islam, and then they decide to screw him, his ex-wife.
Exactly.
Whatever. You know, he never did anything with those girls. He never did.
Allegedly. He was actually convicted. We're okay.
He pled guilty.
He pled guilty. That's true.
He said he would never plead guilty, right?
Yes, exactly.
Spooky posted a link there to a sex offender search site. I mean,
sorry,
we're not saying who that could be, but
you know, but and again, there's nothing about being religious. Oh, I have to call her back. Hold on, let me see. Oh, I should have hit the wrong thing. That's
your mom.
I should have said. Oh my god, let me see. Call her back. I'm doing it live on TV. James, say something. Let me tell my mom that I love her.
Say something.
Sorry.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to be right back anyway. So while I do this and go be right back.
I'll hold them off for a minute.
James,
a second.
We're talking about God as a father. I really do feel like it is the inescapable topic of gender and gods. Because I really do feel in a weird way that the only reason that we have these issues is because of the religious. Like if it wasn't in those holy texts, I feel like the pressure would just. But anyway, God is a father?
So religion spreads its tentacles into everything, doesn't it? And so even if we're looking at things that are maybe not necessarily connected to religion, but people always tie religion into it because it affects their entire worldview, really. It affects everything. They're always trying to bring their religion out of the book, out of the text, out of the Bible, and into reality where it doesn't belong. It's not a part of reality, but they always try to force it into reality, right? And there's some inherent contradictions. There's some inherent problems with that. One is that we just don't see it. We don't see any evidence in our daily life that any of this is real, that the Abrahamic God, the Christian God is real. And so they have to bake up these excuses, these rationales into it to try to head off the arguments, to try to nip them before they even get started. It really reassures their followers, but to provide a pretext. So, God hides himself, divine hiddenness. I was listening to a video on another topic, and somebody he's bringing up God, that this is all tied into religion, right? And God hides himself because if he didn't, that would be like seeing the answers to the test. We have to take the test. He can't let us know he's real. Otherwise, what would the entire point be? And that's something that they just accept that, like, oh yes, he has to hide himself because otherwise we would know. And see, in their worldview, this idea that faith is a virtue, faith is something good. It's inherently moral and inherently good, but they have that kind of pre-baked into the ethos of our society. But the idea that God would have to conceal himself because otherwise people would know, and then that would invalidate everything. It doesn't work. Okay, don't let them get away with things like that, because, well, Did Satan know God existed? Well, yeah, he did know. Did Satan choose to rebel against him? Well, yeah, according to religion, he did. He did choose to rebel. And most of the Christians will say, yeah, he knew, he even knew God was omnipotent. I've heard one Christian who said, no, Satan didn't know, and God surprised him, like, surprise, I'm omnipotent. You can't rebel against me. You can't overthrow me. You can't kill me. I'm invincible. But most of them will say that. They even knew that, but he still decided to rebel anyway. Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, according, it's a bullshit story, but even according to their logic, they knew God was real. They talked to him, and they still had the choice to disobey him, which was, it's a ridiculous story. The whole thing was stacked up against them. They have actually no real moral culpability in the story at all. All the real culpability goes back to God, but in their way of thinking, it's a way of getting him out, getting him so he doesn't have any blame for all the bad things in the world. They need to try to get away to pin all the blame on humans, and God is blameless, even though that wouldn't make sense because he's had all the knowledge, all the power in that situation. The humans knew nothing. They had no agency. But whatever. They still had a choice. They still knew God, and they still chose to rebel against God. The Israelites, the Old Testament is just full of his people constantly choosing to rebel against him, even after he's done miracles. He's done amazing things right in their presence. The most numerous example, the Egypt, the plagues, got his people free. He was doing miracles on a daily basis, guiding them with fire, parting the Red Sea. And so as soon as they got across the Red Sea, and Moses, he goes up on the mountain. It's been a few days, and the first thing they decide to do, they've been left alone to their own devices, is to make an idol out of gold and worship that. Okay, they had absolute proof. They had evidence galore that God was real, and they still could choose to rebel against him. They wouldn't do that. Nobody, I don't think, is really that foolish. You'd have to be pretty stupid, but regardless, that's part of the story. They still chose to do it. So this idea that today God has to conceal himself and operate in the shadows for things to be a test, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because that's not what he's done before. They're looking for an excuse for divine hiddenness. They can't come up with a good explanation for why all of a sudden God has to withdraw. A lot of them will even say it's a divine mystery. We don't really understand it. But they maintain faith nonetheless. But some of them do try to come at you with these silly rationale and excuses that God has to do it that way. Otherwise, humans would have no. We couldn't be tested. Why the fuck does this life have to be a test? Why is that so important? Why does life have to be this high stakes casino where you have to choose the right things to believe without evidence? And you have to do that. You have to come across this information, and if you don't, too bad. God is he is under no obligation to make sure that everybody has a chance to get this information, to accept that he's a triune being, that he created everything, that he sent Jesus to die for the. He is under no obligation to make sure they get that data. If they don't, who cares? They go to hell. He's not the one burning. He tells his followers, go out and save who you can save, but unfortunately 90% of them will not be. And not just that sucks, that's just the way I ordained it. That's the way I set it up. It's good that way. And that's probably a more Calvinistic approach that you get from them. The Calvinists will say that God ordained certain people to be vessels of his wrath, to just be there so he can destroy them and revel in that power. The God of the Bible, the Christian, actually the only being who gets real, who derives glory from destroying and defeating enemies that are infinitely weaker than he is. Infinitely weaker, he crushes them, and then he acts like he's this great, powerful being. Like, okay, dude, we would consider that a bully. No one would derive glory from that, beating up somebody who is infinitely weaker than you. Riding over a child in a tank, nobody would say, oh, look at that guy. That guy's a badass. How brave, how glorious he was to run over that child in a tank. Nobody would do that, but God does.
Brings him glory. All glory to God. And the drowning babies.
Because there were a lot of assholes in the world, so he had to flood the world. I mean,
everyone was evil.
What did Brett Keane say? Well, God's damned if he just lets evil abide on the world. Then why does God let evil? But if God kills all the evil people, then why did God commit genocide? He can't do anything right for these atheists. No.
Yeah, I mean, they were going to grow up to be evil. Do you want them to grow up to be evil?
So God has infinite power, infinite options that at his disposal that humans do not do, by the way. Humans, that would be like, okay, you're at the grocery store and there's an elderly lady with a walker trying to walk out with a 45-cent lemon in her hands, is taking an Uzi out and pumping her full of bullets. Is that like a rational, appropriate response to that? I would say no. But the humans, we still have limited options, limited ability. God doesn't. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Anything
he fucking wants to do. Humans can't. We have to choose between things that we're possibly able to do.
But James, do you know what the smartest, best thing you could do? I feel like if you just chose a single family and killed everybody else. I'm sorry, YouTube algorithm. Unlived everybody else. That makes it better. Euphemism treadmill.
Right. Yeah, euphemism
what
treadmill.
Is up? Sending so much Sending so much love. What is up, Pat? What is up, Purple? Send so much love to everyone out there.
Purple, spooky.
Yes. I am going to bring up the other topical thing that also annoys me.
Do it.
I was waiting for the second half, but all right. So, in insert time period of date and year of the, let's see here. And it's so crazy. Wikipedia has different ways that you can, let me just share screen Wikipedia? For a second. Yes, Wikipedia. Yes, Wikipedia. Exactly. But, okay. One of the funniest, it's not funny. I shouldn't frame it that way.
It's not funny.
The joke is laugh or cry. Those are the only two options that we get, James. And so, but the fact that Wikipedia can separate out,
oh boy,
this many school shootings. That's a lot of school shootings in just one country. The fact that, I'm trying to think of things that there are two things larger than this. One Piece episodes and Law and Order episodes. Look how many school shootings. Yeah, SUV. We're not even. We're in the 70s SUV. Right now. 70s, 80s.
Right.
90s. We have not even hit the 2000s yet. Okay? We're going down. Here we go. We hit the 2000s. Hold on. Here we go. All right. For the 2000s. Here we go. Remember, this is just the United States.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good we don't have a school shooting problem. That's okay. We're getting down. We're almost there. We're 2023. That's good. Here we go. Almost. Okay. Well, James, don't you know it? In the past 2 years, of all of these 500, there has been a total of 2 transgender school shooters. Trying to think of the right word.
Yeah.
Culprits. I don't know. The word fails me. Nonetheless,
well, clearly it's a transgender problem, right? It's
and
clearly,
yes, the way that the conversation. This is what's driving me seriously crazy. Okay, because there has been insert year, insert date person that was transgender and also happened to commit a school shooting. Now, let's start off with the it takes 0 effort to be brave part of this conversation. They were a degenerate scumbag. Anyone who chooses to hurt someone, okay, chooses to hurt innocent people is a terrible human being. Now, they may have been suffering. I have no idea what their story is. I don't know all of the bad things that could have possibly happened to them. Nonetheless, you don't hurt innocent people. Now, that was very hard, very unsafe of me to do, James. I feel very brave. But, oh no, go.
But you're not saying that every single transgender person is a good person, right? They're not saying they are all saints, that they're all pillars of the community. It is possible that people can be transgender and not be a nice person, not be a good person.
Being transgender is amoral, not immoral or moral. That is to say, it lacks a moral component.
It's what they are.
It is as moral as liking chocolate or vanilla ice cream or being right or left-handed. It is just who you are. And I bring this up. I use this example with James. Most of these school shooters, 90% of them, are straight white men.
Right.
And it would be easy to try and use their same logic that they are applying here and say it is straight. Being a straight white male is what makes school shootings happen. And if I made that argument or anyone else made that argument, they should be pointed out how terrible and stupid that is. Because it is not being straight or white or male that is any of the components of shooting up a school.
And they'll say, well, you can't take away my rights because of what somebody else did just because they happen to be straight. Well, one straight person did doesn't affect what the straight person does.
Exactly. There's a problem in this country. Like, it's not per capita either. It's not because we have a lot of people. That's why we have a lot of school shootings. And I get it. I don't want to go as easy. My hair could go super blue. It's the gun, James. Right. And I'll be honest, I feel like liberals make a lot of good arguments for why we should have higher amounts of gun safety in defense of all of the terrible shootings that go on. They want to try and flip the race and make gang violence. If we want to call shootings, oh, well, did you know more shootings in so-and-so there? Okay, that's cool. But that's what I mean by we could pick a data point and call it this. There are larger problems that if we do not address them, and if we just say black, white, transgender, then we will never solve them. We will yell at each other.
You're making it politically impossible to do anything about it.
Exactly.
You're driving the car off the cliff politically. And, you could say like in the 1920s, anybody could go into, you could walk into a Sears, walk out 10 minutes later with a fully automatic Thompson submachine gun, a 100-round drum, and 200 rounds of ammunition, no waiting period, no background checks, no nothing. And gun violence was basically limited to the mafia. You didn't really have people going into schools and shooting it up. But what we have now is we have a nationwide 24/7 media atmosphere where people who want to get attention, they want to get notoriety, that's a way to do it, right? That's a way to cement your name in the history books, is to take a gun and go do some really horrible things with it in a school. Why not? You'll get the most attention. And, that is unfortunately, the media is not going away. You can't force the media not to report on these people, not to, that can't be done. So it kind of limits on the other end, where most of the other nations that say, well, we can't stop that, but we can stop the access to weapons. It's a politically divisive issue, but that is the way that most of the other nations have gone. It's the politics of that are a little different here, but that's
not to be too blunt, and this is the way I will frame it. I want you to have freedom and us not to have so many dead kids. Doesn't there has to be a compromise in there somewhere, right? I mean, that is where the real conversation, and I framed it up maybe in a single sentence, and it may take years and many conversations to actually figure out how you do that. But what I'm saying is all of the nastiness and hate, and like I told James, I'm going a little crazy because I have never felt the word I will use, and I really mean this, and I don't mean to be hyperbolic. I say this as someone who really doesn't want to care about the issue at all, and that's not right, because I feel bad. I felt before I said I don't focus on being transgender. It's not the right word, because I take the people who defend the actual trans activists and the people who do YouTube content doing trans issues are important people, and I actually want to send love to them. Because we need people and voices who do that content.
Most of them do good activism.
What I'm trying to say is that eventually you figure out who you are, and that allows you to go do other things. That is what I'm trying to say. And so I'm going to use this word, and I mean it with a lot of carefulness. I really do feel like we're under siege. It has never been. It is such the forced hottest topic, because there were conversations, in my opinion, in the LGBTQ community where we're like, all right, we've started to get gay and lesbian rights. We started to get gay marriage and trans in the military. What is going to be the next thing? Now, the terrible people brought up like, oh my God, it's going to be pedophilia and dogs and blah, 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 blah. Right. But the LGBTQ were like, well, hey, maybe we can start accepting neurodivergent people or asexuality. We could talk about people like, or maybe, we could just be more inclusive. There's going to be other groups that haven't had attention. Disabled community needs more.
People having sex with dogs and cats was not the next step in the in the conversation, but that's where they want to take it, because it's absurd.
Because that is basically the way that they attack. You make you inhuman and immoral, and thus we can attack you. We can remove you or take away your rights. And
so you wanting to express your gender the way you feel that makes you happy and comfortable, and they say, well, what's next? You're going to want to have sex with a cat. No, that is not, that those have nothing to do with each other.
But they're not only, because those are the examples they always use, not only are they stupid, terrible, and immoral, but there were honest conversations about where, if you truly looking at things through a progressive lens, where you could understand people better in a more psychological or sociological way. And I'll tell you what happened, James. What happened was they were like, let's play the hits. The people who dislike us don't like us actually being accepted in society. Right. And so it's not that we're moving forward. We're either trying to stay right here, or we're trying to move backwards. We're doing some hands mail. Shit. Sometimes I feel like they're 2 steps away from trying to promote segregation away. But religious people, objective morality from their God.
It's funny, because I didn't think. Now they really are trying to go back on gay. I thought they would never do that. I thought they would never try to push back on that, because it was so politically toxic. But at the end, by 2015, they were ready to be done with it, because they'd been getting beaten up for about 5-6 years in the polls. They wanted nothing to do with it. They were happy to be done with it. Now they're letting a few extremists on the far fringes drag them back into it, and we'll see how far they actually go with that.
I will continue to say, I've used this analogy before. We are the canary in the coal mine. Okay? Transgender rights may not matter. And honestly, I will continue to say the only thing that transgenders have actually fought for, except for, I guess, general acceptance, that's not really a law. That's just like a cultural thing. But like the only thing we legally fought for was trans in the military. Now we're going to have to fight for that again.
The ability to go to your doctor and to be given medically appropriate treatment
to have. And so that's a healthcare fight. But yes, it is tied almost intrinsically to it.
Because they're trying to ban that. They're trying or to restrict it, to limit it.
Not to bring it back, but the latest thing, I mean, he said he wants to ban trans having guns. I mean, it's like...
Well, and I was going to mention that because, see, this is actually like what they decided on, like maybe mid-2010s, was this idea of red flag laws. Like if somebody is like not mentally stable, that their psychiatrist or a police officer could say like this, we need to separate this person from their weapons temporarily, and so something doesn't happen, and then we can have a full hearing later, and they can, if they can demonstrate to the court that they're of sound mind, that they're not a danger, then they can get them back. But now they're like, oh, you're taking our guns before the hearing, and so now they're pushing back on all that. They don't like red flag laws. They don't like any of it, except now they're like pushing for like red flag laws against transgender. They should just take their rights away, carte blanche, just because of two out of the most recent 1,000 shootings have been linked to transgender person.
Yes. So it is very ironic to have they will not pry it from my cold, dead hands to say, but I will from yours, right? That is kind of what that sounds like.
Right.
And I get it.
And
I'm the focal point, so that's what it feels like, but it just seems like insert example.
Actually,
sorry. Go.
Actually, this is a difficult issue because this is actually one of the areas where there was a little bit of agreement with trans people and gun rights, because a lot of them like the idea of being able to carry a weapon with them for protection, because they might get attacked by people who hate them for who they are. They might need to defend themselves, and there was a small overlap there.
I feel
now
like
they're just throwing that in the wind.
I feel like I'm treating him like Voldemort a little by not saying his name, but I'm seeing cracks. All right? I am seeing cracks. As James just said, yes. I mean, I don't own a gun, and I don't have very strong feelings about it. I don't think about them very much. I have feelings and opinions I could give. I'm sure I can make honest compromises, and yet it is just weird to see these people, the same people who said it'll be a slippery slope, James, don't you know? You take it from this group,
right?
You take it from that group.
Oh, yeah. They want to ban guns, one gun or one accessory at a time. We can't let them ban any of them because it'll just be a slope.
And
they just lose their fucking minds with the idea of nonconformist gender. They lose their fucking minds.
And the other thing is just this blanket trying to call us mental illness, because that's where it is. They're saying basically we're mentally ill people shouldn't have it. And again, I wish we could just actually focus on the problem and not blame insert group, because again, the amount of school shootings that happen, James, we are a day, we are a week. I mean, hopefully, best case scenario statistically is a month away from the next school shooting. And chances are it won't be someone transgender.
And what they pushed back on was efforts by, I believe it started the Biden administration for veterans who were having psychological or psychiatric conditions that maybe they're suicidal or maybe they're having thoughts of violence. Maybe we should take their guns away. And they said, no, that is horrible. How could you do that? With the goal of trying to reduce veteran suicide or, acts of violence from PTSD or depression or any of the other conditions. But, so no, you can't do that. That's but we can take it away for trans people. It's just crazy.
And so it's just, I'll tell you the surrealist thing, James, is like having the radio on and it's like a random subject and I can't even pick anything because it's truly at the most random times. They're like, something just came up and he blamed us for something, but like it comes up in random. Vance blamed us. What if Van? Here we go. The other point, the other crack is the Maha or whatever movement they want to call it, the anti-vaccine movement. Is I saw Republicans criticizing JFK, really grilling him. So thank you to the two Republican doctors,
RFK.
especially. Yes, RFK, Dr. Brainworm.
Yeah. We're not grilling JFK anymore.
Oh, did I say JFK? Oh my goodness! If they're just,
yeah. I think so. But
they are
I'm
James
sure they knew
in
what
a
you meant.
lab in a secret underground. No,
they knew they knew what you meant. Yeah.
Yes, but grilling RFK Jr. and one of them being the one of the Republican whips, one
Mitch
of the
McConnell,
second,
I believe,
Mitch McConnell as well. Yes,
yeah.
And so there are cracks forming, which is good because I will continue to say, as blue-haired as I get, I do not believe that the opposition that I am facing is conservatism. Okay, so I truly do not believe that.
And this is not new. Like why do we have to keep beating this dead horse? Like the scientists, like we're just asking. No, this has been researched up and down, back to front. They have researched it. They have done studies. There's no rational, plausible way that vaccines can be causing all. It's just no. It's no asking questions. No. It's just no. They have nothing to do with each other.
The two things, couldn't agree with you more, Pat. They're fine with it until it's staring them in the face, or until it's their insert group. And then Kathy, what's up? And we'll talk about what he's talking about for 1 second, and then James will probably go for another 15 minutes, and then we can. This was the other big button issue that I feel like we had to address, and again, I don't even want to date it because it is more of a meta subject. It's not about insert person that just happened, because.
But it's driven by current events partially.
Yes, well, I'm talking about it because if not, I hope I'm one voice, one pushback, and it's not. It's two things. It's because I want to defend transgenders, but it's also because it's stupid. It's bad logic. If someone was going straight white, we have a problem. We should ban straight white men from being able to own guns. I would say that's a stupid argument. Again, that's not a brave argument. I feel like I have to just say that because there's so much. I don't want to say stupid, but like.
Hey, Pete, down.
Okay, two things. Kathy, it is a good point. Here, look, I'll show it. I get it. We sometimes father time. You didn't actually say father time, but then Mother Nature. I would say that this is still using gender. We're prescribing these characteristics, anthropomorphizing, and I'm fine with that as long as you grant me gender. All I'm really saying is if you're going to separate gender from sex in one way, just grant me the same and, don't have the Christian fundamentalists scream at me as I enter Walmart. The compromises, the little things. Oh, okay. I'm gonna send it out because I have two things. I know James has to wake up eventually, and then I'm gonna go watch a movie. I've not been off in like 2 days. All right, we're gonna send it out. Come join the stream, and for 15 minutes we'll have an open mic. What's up, Sinister? Just got back in time for the open mic. There, we're gonna pin it.
We're on a fish, though, sorry.
Yep, we're on 15 minutes. I am hitting it.
15 minutes of fish.
15 minutes of fish. I'm going to pin it and as well. Come one, come all. As yourself, just not on my bed sheets. Or if you do,
Mr. Batman is completely heterosexual, right?
Mr. Batman is completely... Ted Haggard is completely heterosexual. That was my way of introducing the open mic. What is up, Sinister Porpoise? We're ranting about God is a father because gender seems to be the hottest topic in here.
Sorry, I have a new headset, so.
Not at all. I like it. It's got cool LEDs.
If you're going to be on camera, Athena, show more than your tail.
Oh, my.
All right, where was I? All right. So, yes, I did see the whole transgender gun thing. And you're right. I know a lot of trans women who do own guns because they're afraid they'll be attacked, largely from people
right
on the other side of the issue who still haven't learned that that not everyone who falls in the LGBTQ camp is gay.
Absolutely. And it's another good point because, I feel like we are under way more attacks. They're always worried about the things happening in the bathroom and the locker room, and then we get raped and murdered, and they're like, whatever.
Well, here's the funny thing about it: Donald Trump essentially gave every man
Voldemort's name. I'm sorry, we haven't named Voldemort. It's okay. You're allowed to do it.
I can call him Cankle McTaco Tits, or
that also works. I'm sorry, didn't mean to get you off track.
I forgot what I was going to say.
God is a father, Donald Trump, Cankles.
Yeah, Cankle's McTaco Tits.
It does happen.
Is more likely to shoot up a school than than most trans women.
But at least now he's not allowed to own guns. See, now here's the thing. Here's a valuable. I was giving that explanation, James, before, where we were talking about, is that a valid thing? Felons can't own guns and certain things. I think there are reasonable restrictions we can make on certain groups of people. The question should just be more about actions and what they plan to do in the future, and not about who people are as human beings.
I would distinguish it from felons, from violent felons. I don't think necessarily permanent disarmament of every felon is probably fair, but I
guess it would also depend on their crime. I mean, if they're not a violent offender or they're just in there for like drug charges.
Right, if they've never shown a propensity for violence, but that's not the way the system is permanent now. So if you're 19 and you get into a domestic thing with your girlfriend, you can never, ever, ever own a gun ever, no matter what.
So instead of instead of responding to anything, I'm actually going to.
This is who they all want to see. They're all waiting for her.
The lovely and gorgeous. We have Bree. We are Skeptic
Bree.
and Ranting. God is a
Hello.
father.
Welcome aboard, Bree.
As we were talking, gender is popular because they want it to be, but also because it's amazing. What are your thoughts? God a father, transgenders, shootings. It's an episode.
Are we gonna let's talk about the patriarchy because and the monarchy, because that's what God the Father is all about. He's not just a father; he's a king, right? And we gotta sell that hierarchy where men are on top, and if someone who they think should be assigned one gender who expresses another, it's just not acceptable. It breaks their hierarchy.
He's got to be a boy. He's got to be a man.
So
God is a man.
I'm sorry, I have to bring this up because it's been a topic on this channel more than once. Is God a top or a bottom?
Well, I mean, that depends who you ask, because we have Metatheists who said they switch. And I want to know how you top God. Hopefully, slowly, tenderly, consent. But, you know.
God might like it rough, though. You don't know. I mean, we don't.
You never know. We don't kink shame. Whatever God is into.
I think that God probably, from reading what I've read of the Bible, he seems a little bit like a little bit of a freak, right? Like really, he has a foreskin collection. I mean,
you can't create hell without
currency.
And
bring
you
me
can't
foreskins like fucking cornholio with TP. Foreskins.
That's a lot of foreskins. There's so many.
It's a lot. Yeah. There was a theory that the rings around Saturn were the foreskins that had been collected for Jesus. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
If I was God, that's where I'd store my foreskin collection, right around Saturn.
Do you know where I would store them?
Oh, baby, tell me.
Around Uranus. All right, that was easy. Tip your waitress. All right.
She's a professional comedian, ladies and gentlemen. I can't compete with this. I love your frames, by the way, babe.
Oh, thank you so much. I have two. I have a third one coming. This is what happens is what I do is I start with one color that I'm like, I won't have to buy multiple pairs, just like I bought like one black Coach purse. And then what happens is I like them, and now I'm going to buy every color. But
how about I don't know if he's an icon in the gay community, but Giorgio Armani died.
Well, that's not
like, girl. They have these
glasses
that have the magnetic fronts that go on, so you can just switch it out without having to get new lenses and everything made. You should look into that.
I know, that'd probably be cheaper.
Yeah, but you look cute as hell. That's the main reason I came in here, to tell you I love the vibe you got going. With
the naughty librarian.
What, you're telling me?
Glasses. Yeah, you need to put your hair up in like a bun and then like take it down.
You're telling me as a teacher you don't have like big bucks?
Big bucks, I cannot lie. I just have a ruler, and so when the grad students are being naughty, what were we talking about?
I think we went over to OnlyFans.
Yes,
girl.
As well as flans. I'm doing Amaretto's old joke. Nonetheless, we have been scheduled. So we got like 5 more minutes. So, any other final topics? We are Skeptic or Ranting on God as a Father. This is what I told James. This is why I'm even having this episode. I'm going a little crazy because I feel like they are obsessed with gender. They that is all the right. Every subject I hear, they bring it up on the most random things, and I go, really? You're dragging us into it? And yes, because it's politically motivating. You just got to say, transgender illegal immigrants are getting SRS, and
I mean, it's better than like tackling any of the real problems we have in society, the harder problems.
yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's mostly it's to deflect from there's these files that the Department of Justice has, and they want us to talk about anything but those. So
You mean the ones that Adobe's make, like PDFs?
yes, exactly.
Yes,
Those kind
okay.
of files. The PDF.
Adobe, I'll tell you. And the White House.
Right?
What are we talking about?
So
Distraction.
in standard Christianity,
Misdirection.
There were troops of 20 miles away from my house. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
None of it matters. We didn't say that
I'm
was
in-
gonna
I'm-
happen.
I'm in El Paso right now, so that's where they're building the new concentration camps. Don't you know?
yeah.
Wonderful.
But they use us to get this shit done. They use us and then they pick pockets.
Well, so this is the only way that they're going to get people to agree to gun reform. It's like we got to have this reform to where we can take them away from certain people groups based on arbitrary traits, and then it's going to be like, oh yeah, well now we can take them away from any group we want just by saying, hey, they pose a threat, and it's going to snowball.
I
And
mean,
they don't seem to grasp that, but Reagan did that in the 80s, and that's why we didn't have there were so many actual decent gun laws until about 2004.
yeah, gun control actually has quite a racist history because Ronald Reagan did in California because the Black Panthers started exercising their Second Amendment rights.
Well, I get the feeling that if there was a different skin color on January 6th, but hey, of course, let's not. Anyway, what were you going to say, Sinister?
Well, you're going about God the Father. I'm just curious. Doesn't Christianity have an understanding that God is an embodied spirit or immaterial spirit? I mean, I understand how God has a gender in the Mormon religion because
so they might say he has maybe a gender that he presents as, but most of them would say he doesn't have like a sex. He's not a biological being, but
so God identifies as a man and has pronouns.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you could take it a few different ways. My joke is God was genderless and then he became a man, so he's a transgender man. But
he was non-binary. Now he became male.
Now, the hardest part about this is it depends on every individual theist. I get theists who will say he has to be a man. It's a guy. He's got a big old schlong down there. And then I get others that are like, they're genderless and they're a they and they're just the essence and male and female together. And so you're like, it depends on whoever the theist is. You can do that.
So if humans are made in the image of God, then he has to have some kind of something going on down there. I'd say maybe like some like maybe both, or like a ambiguous genitalia, because we're all made in his image, right? So there's got to be some kind of starting point with something going on down there. We just don't know what, and that mystery, and we can only call it the Holy Spirit because we don't have any other name for it.
So did you just
made Adam in his image, but Eve was made to be like Adam, but a companion for Adam. He was not made to be the same. He was made to be
like
for Adam,
like a dog.
Yeah.
So did we just promote Adam, or did we just promote God to intersex?
I mean,
you could.
He would have to be, right? He doesn't have. Unless we're assuming that God has XY chromosomes.
Well, that would be the case in the Mormon religion, yes.
Yeah.
Well, because in Mormonism, he actually sires offspring with wives in.
What a sell! I gotta tell you, God can come down there and he can do the naughty.
Yeah. He'll make you feel divine.
But most Christians would say it's not. Like what Kathy is saying, it's not really about gender, but it kind of does function that way. But maybe not. Maybe it's because they don't really have an appropriate way of describing God because he's not even understandable to humans. So We just get as close as we can to describing him.
He uses masculine pronouns too, at least in most religions. So it's not just the father part; it's also that I am he. God's all about his pronouns, actually.
That is the other thing. The irony is, if you press them on it, they are, I would say, obsessed, if not more. For some theists, that's what I mean by a big asterisk. But for some theists, has to be a he. Like it is. And though I get some of the most misogynistic arguments for why, like we've given some of the more better apologetics, but I get some that'll just say it has to be a he because men are leaders or men are thinkers or things like that. But
I mean, so you can switch that argument. You can switch that argument around to just about anything that's gender. You can talk about a Barbie doll. A Barbie doll is a she, right? You can. It doesn't have 2 X chromosomes. Doesn't have any genitalia, but it's a she, and everybody understands that. That's why I don't get where people can't understand when it comes to people.
And I also say there's a reason we say "be a man," and that's a phrase because that means being an adult, and we don't say "be a male," which would be very weird because sex and gender.
Because you are a male regardless, but being a man is considered.
But a woman is the feminine gender. And so sex here and gender here.
According to the great prophet Walt Disney, aren't there only 4 things required to be a man?
The great anti-Semitic prophet?
Well,
I'm just kidding, Walt Disney. You didn't hate Jews. You're fine.
He was dead by the...
I like Disney Plus.
He was long dead by the time the movie I'm referencing was made, but I believe the things required to be a man are be as swift as a river, be as mysterious as the dark side of the moon,
be a man. That is one of my favorite karaoke songs, and that's probably freaks every biological person that I'm singing in front of at a karaoke bar because I probably get way too into it. Nonetheless,
you're gonna make a man out of me. Many have tried, so good luck.
We're gonna go outros. We're gonna go in the opposite order, and I'm gonna do the thingy, and then it'll be Bree, Sinister, and then
dance.
James and myself will then tuck us in by thinking about God being top to bottom again. What are we doing anyway? We're going into outros. Buttons make things official. Bree, we have been Skeptic and Ranting on God is a Father. I hope you had fun. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
I am going to be, I am Hive Psi. It's HIVESCI. See me in the side chat as well. Anywhere on all social media, that's me if you see it. If somebody sees somebody else using it, tell me because they're not supposed to be. But I do a show every Saturday morning called Live from the Hive. I will be live from the Hive tomorrow morning, and we're starting things off with the Big Muddy Monster on Cryptic Corner, so you don't want to miss that. That's going to be some fun stuff. And then we're going to talk about some creatures found frozen in stone, which is going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, come hang out. We're going to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Go check out the Hive. Be a fantastic bumblebee. And I had a moment with a bumblebee. I had 2 moments with bumblebees within the past month or 2, which is kind of weird to have stories about bumblebees. But I had one bumblebee that got trapped in our car, and I had I was able to calm them down because I couldn't get them out of the car when we were kind of speeding, and I got them, and we were able to calm the car. We got the car back to 0, and I got the bee out. And I had another time where they would not leave me alone at, I'm trying to remember the concert, but I had to walk away from my seat because of the soda on the floor or so and get this bee away. But I had great times with bees. There were no.
Those are my spies keeping an eye on you, Amy. I'm just keeping tabs on my friends.
That's okay. Listen, You got to be live at the Hive. We are sending love, the fabulous Sinister Porpoise. We have been Skeptic and Ranting on God as a Father. Where can people find you, and what are your final thoughts?
All right, I am the Sinister Porpoise. When you think of Sinister Porpoises, think of the Sinister Porpoise. You can find me right now at Mad Computer Scientist 1. Since I've been doing open mic comedy nights, I'm probably going to switch the Friday stream to a different date. I just haven't decided when. Athena says, hi, everyone. And I'm still wondering how Ultimated had safe sex with God, but I'm probably going to be wondering that until the day I die. So
very carefully.
But it is a scary time for everyone right now, so be excellent to each other.
Thank you, Sinister.
And all right, thank you so much, Sinister. Please check out both of these lovely ladies. I didn't know you were doing open mics. Go check out the Hive. Go check out Porpoise's open mics. And James, I think this came out of nowhere, I know, but it feels like it's this weird mixture of all of my pent-up religious anger and the zeitgeist of them wanting to talk about gender and not the people that you would expect.
Yeah. What can we say? They can't get their minds off of it. It's consumes them. It's all they can think about. It consumes their history, their cell phone data plans, and yeah. Praise God.
At least see somebody like me or Porpoise or Amy, and they got to know what we have in our pants. They have to know.
It's all they can think about.
It's all the rage.
Just like the time Ken Hoven, when he was debating a transgender person, he asked live in the stream, "We want to know if she has a penis."
All right. Right now, I'm wearing a dress that has binary numbers all over it. Someone asked me about it, and I was trying to explain what binary was. And then they asked me, it's like, did you just tell me you're a guy? It's like, that is not what I said.
Oh, wow. You should just say it's like the things in the Matrix, the numbers in the Matrix. That's what most
computer code
normies will understand.
Well, and I don't understand why, I sometimes get flack from people who get upset about they pronouns, and they're like, two people. But then you'll have a conversation. You'll be like, hey, did Billy go to the bathroom? And you're like, oh yeah, they went to the bathroom. You're like, well, you can use it as a single but it's like, when did you become linguistic Nazis? It's enough to have soup Nazis and actual Nazis.
Considering most of them are actual Nazis, it's not that far of a stretch.
It wasn't a big leap, yeah.
But all right, I do want to thank all of us misfits, everyone out there for this episode. Oh, I see a link out there. Should I send that link into chat, Porpoise? She's saying no. Okay, good. If either of you ladies do want me to send out links anytime, you tell me. But I do want to thank you all in this episode of Skeptic and Ranting. God is a Father, where we ranted about religious people being obsessed with gender, not being real, but desperately needing their father figure in the sky to be the manly king of doodly kings.
He wears the pants in this universe.
Yes, he wears the pants in this universe. And I hope you all had a fatherly good time. I do want to thank my co-host, James W., along with our panel, Sinister and Bree, as well as the people in chat, our awesome mods who make the stream so great, and lovely viewers like you who make this stream even possible. If you enjoyed the show, I hope you did. Please hit the like, follow, subscribe. The other thing that you hear, it's a cultural meme now, and now I'm getting really meta. Hit the bell icon so you can see our content. I want to do Bill Burr rants. I may upload them. I'm gonna just figure out ways. We're gonna do more day streams. I swear, because I'm getting to the point where I'm almost done all of the other stuff. I said, James, like, yeah, bitch. Sure, bitch. Catch that mailman. Anyway, thank you, all the people, our evolutionary badge system. Because evolution, you could ask these ladies, evolution triggers creationists. I don't know why, but, well, we know why. But unfortunately.
No.
But, James, do you see these three people? They talk about biology. Wow. I don't have a chip on my shoulder.
Probably the least qualified person people in the world to talk about biology.
And then they say the world is 6,000 years old. And that dinosaurs were on Noah's Ark. And we go, okay, Flintstones.
The world is flat.
Mm-hmm.
I know. And they hate. I love... because that is almost exclusively a theist movement. It's not 100%, you don't have to be, but almost exclusively. And I just love how much they're always like, don't put us in with that. That's ridiculous. But a 6,000-year-old Earth.
Totally yeah, they say that about the flat Earth too. They're like, don't compare us to flat Earth.
Exactly.
The young Earth is just as ridiculous.
Yeah,
exactly the same.
Hey, flat earthers do make their enemies sound awesome. A worldwide conspiracy that encompasses everyone who has passed 6th grade.
Listen,
we all get to be in on a conspiracy.
It's a global conspiracy. All around the
Literally.
All around the world. Flat earthers. No. Let's see. Sending love to all people who send super thanks. All the people. Hey, why not leave a comment once the video's done? I'm still looking for a Discord person. Please, if you want to be a very specific type of mod. I'm looking for make ranks. I said this last time. I need to check. I just need to do it. I'll figure out how to do it. Or if you want to, still tell me. But if not, I'm the link of which in the description below. Finally, you can help support the show. Keep the lights on with James W. and myself at patreon.com/Amy Newman. I'm Amy Newman, and along with James W. and our fabulous, fantastic, sexy panel, we'll see you all on the next episode of Skeptic Ball Z. Good night, everyone.
Good night.